Oh shit. Dude, I do not know how to get this like filter off. I feel there's definitely like a filter on this. I'm like, I don't know how to turn it off. What the flip? I need to like, I should have done like a shot before I started this. Hello, Juniper. OMG. What is up, guys? Oh my god, Michaela. What is crack-a-lackin'? Oh my god, is that Hope? Ah! Oh my god. There's so many people. I am currently avoiding hanging out with the time left people just because I don't want to. I really just don't fucking want to. Like, that's just what it comes down to. I find that oop, hi Jordan. Hey. Oh my god. No, I don't like canceling. I do like showing up to the events I say I'm going to show up to. It is just very hard when the other option is to stay home. Mabel, oh my god, Mabel was actually, she's a part of that same group, so she's definitely not coming either, so I feel rather vindicated. What are you guys doing? Hey, Rotten. Hello, hello. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I feel the cold coming in from outside and I'm like, fuck, like I cannot. I just can't do it. They're better than me. Even though Up Down does sound fun. Up Down does sound fun. I just can't do it. Oh, Rotten, that's a good place to be. That was a very good place to be. It's hot as fuck in this house. Hello there, Callum and Raphael. I should have joined with like a clear like idea of what I wanted to talk about, but I really did not, to be honest. I might start showing you guys Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Oh my god, thank you, Callum. Thank you for liking. Holy moly. Yeah, I might start showing you guys Yu-Gi-Oh cards here soon. Yeah, no drama this week, really. Actually, no, there is drama. One of my friends is like not coming to any of like our hangouts because he used to date this girl who's also oh my god, should I go get my Yu-Gi-Oh cards? I'll be right back. Look what I fucking got. Oh my god. No, so I have so many fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Okay, I'll just put it right here. No, I have so many Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I do want to talk about what you should definitely not fucking do if you want to have a collection of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. This is why I'm like kind of worried that I'm low-key stupid because, so this is what I did. I was like, okay, I want to have all of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I wish there was a better way to do this. I want to have all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards and I'm going to have it, you know, in alphabetical order. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have all of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards in alphabetical order. But so I did it, and I like put it into this Excel sheet, and then so here's what I did. I sorted all of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and into like alphabetical order, and then I inputted them into an Excel sheet, and then I put them in all of these sleeves. Well, I don't know if you can already see the fucking problem, but anytime you add a new card to your collection, guess what I have to do? If I add one card, everything moves over one. So I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? Like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever done. And so now I've just created a bunch of work because like, I have to take all these fucking cards out. Like, they cannot remain in this. Like, they're gonna have to come out. Like, what the flip? Why would I do that? But anyway, these are my favorite cards. And, I think that I have some really good cards, to be honest. Like, I kind of really love my cards. Here's 7 Colored Fish. I remember finding this card whenever I was little and being very freaked out by it, which I think is actually valid. It's a very ugly creature. But let me take you to H, which has, so here's what I think I'm going to do instead. I'm going to just sleeve every single fucking card. And then I'm going to, favorite anime, probably Parasite the Maxim. It's like the one where it's aliens and they're mean. Gourd Busted. That is so sweet of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like I have like I feel like I have an accent that no one else has, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like, I don't know, like, okay, so H-I, okay, yeah. Okay, so where's H? Dude, that just confused the fuck out of me. I was like, is this a H or an I? And then I was like, okay, but is that an H or an I? That one. But then I remembered that I comes after H. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Okay, here, boom. So, Harpy cards, so adorable. Look at that. That is so gorge. Harpy ladies. Harpies are definitely one of my favorite card, I just fucked myself up. Definitely one of my favorite card archetypes, to be honest. I have so fucking many. And I am like trying to build this like Harpy deck. And I haven't made a lot of progress on it, but I have some really good cards for it. So like, I will have the Harpy setup, like just give me time. And I will smoke all of you. So on the question of Master Duel, I don't really know. So here's my problem with it. I've never played it and I have done no research on it, but I have a lot of opinions on it. I feel like there's no way that they have every card in Master Duel. Like, there's no way, right? Like, because I would love to have like a digital form, but then also it's free to play, which like weirds me out because I hate everything that's free to play because I feel like you're gonna try to like make me buy some shit and I really don't want to. Like, oop, the card almost flew out. I just really don't want to. Like, I don't want to do microtransactions anymore. There was a time in my life where I was like, yeah, let's, like, I'll be basically, what is that? Not a hog, but like a cow, or no, a whale. Like, I was definitely whale vibes. They should have most cards. Oh, okay, cool. And yeah, you can spend money. Yeah, they're dead to me. I feel like fuck them, unfortunately. Like, I would rather have the card physically. I also feel the same way with like books, kinda. Like, I just want the book. Give me the book. Like the physical book. I just am very into physical media. Except for all the games that I play, which are digital. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Let me see. So I already showed these in a video. Favorite movie, Jennifer's Body, for sure. I just like seeing women touch each other, and I'm not a lesbian. I'm not a lesbian or lesbian leaning or lesbian. I don't have aspects of lesbianism within me, but like I do like watching women touch each other and also men touch each other. How do I open this? Oh my God. Thank you, Gabby. That's so sweet. I get that kind of a lot to be honest. Ooh. To protect. Oh, someone said something that was bad, I guess. So here's Pudding Sis Chocolate a la mode. Love her so much. Heated Rivalry. I am afraid to watch that. So like, here's the thing. I saw a TikTok about this earlier. I become very territorial of media that I like, and I feel like I'm gonna end up watching Heated Rivalry like 5 minutes, or not 5 minutes, like 5 years from now, when everyone else has forgotten about it, and then I'm gonna be the only one, and they're gonna be mine. They will be mine. Okay, yeah, here we go. Thank you for rejoining, Gordbusta. Okay, so back to this. Madolce Heading Cecile, or whatever. Love her. No, I definitely have seen a lot of edits to Heated Rivalry. I've been seeing a boy, and I have like a strict like, how do I put this? I will only masturbate to photos of his face, and that's just kind of like my rule that I have for myself. And so like I can't do Heated Rivalry right now. I'm gonna put this away. Yeah, water dragon. Yeah, a water dragon. Yeah. I have not seen a water dragon card, to be honest with you, but I love that vibe already. I love that vibe. What is Genesis? What is that? What is this term? Is this something I can't, what is it? Hi Juniper, you left, LOL. Genesis. Is that an anime? Oh, I have not heard of that. I would love for us to like cut, like a card should have no more than one compound sentence. Just one. That is like my opinion. Like we just need to get rid, like if the text is getting to the point where it feels like you need a microscope on that motherfucker, like we definitely have way too much text. That's why I like a lot of like the cards from like 2005 or, you know, like that era, like that was so unrivaled. Oh, yeah, I definitely, so I don't even play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! I mostly just collect the cards because like I just have bad mojo in my fucking bloodline regarding like Yu-Gi-Oh! So like for example, my brother, my only full-blooded brother, pulled a gun at a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament because he lost, and I relate to that perhaps a little bit too much. Like if I collect something and I care very much about it and I lose at the thing that I care very much about, I'm definitely shooting people. Oh yeah, Edison. Okay, yeah, that sounds like very much my speed, I think. Hi Derek. Hi Marcus. Yeah, that sounds like my kind of format, I would say. No, I wish I could add. Ooh, oh yeah, I like Stardust Dragon. That's very cute. My brother gave me this like bear loader deck, and he's like, this is really a good deck, and he liked that deck a lot, and he gave it to me as a graduation present. And I don't know if it's like good or not, I have no way of verifying that information. I just kind of take him at his word or whatever. But I'm gonna run through it. You guys tell me if this, thank you, Aspen. You tell me if this deck is good or not, because again, I have no fucking clue. I think it's like a junk barrel loader deck or something like that. Okay. So I'm gonna start with the extra deck or whatever, like the white cards. So TG Hyper Librarian, Junk Speeder, Garden Rose Maiden. Super cute, by the way. I love this. That is really pretty. Oh my god, that's so good, Aspen. Holy moly. I'm assuming, are you talking about HRT, not to judge you by your emoji? Or your, yeah, your emoji. It's not meta, but it's, okay. Okay, Scissor, we've gotten through 3 cards, okay? See everything. Junk, oh, okay. You said, that's probably a junk speeder deck, and then I jumped down your throat, and then the next fucking card is junk speeder. What the flip? Oh my god. No, yeah, you're probably right. This is a fun rogue deck. F.A. Dawn Dragster. Oh. No, I need to get like you, Scissor. You definitely just knowledge mogged me, I'm not gonna lie. Shooting Star Dragon. Aspen, that is honestly that is totally fair. I need to turn this heat down. Junk Destroyer. Oh, you're getting fat? Oh, don't do that. Definitely do not do that. Heart. Cosmic Quasar Dragon. No, Scissor, if you're good at something, you need to mog it at. Like, that is your right. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Makes right. Shooting Quasar Dragon. And then here is Stardust Dragon. Aspen, what do you think is causing your weight gain? Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Okay. And then this feels like very much, actually, I don't even know if this is a barrel loader deck, actually. Shooting Majestic Star Dragon. Shiny, by the way, super cute. Oh, Aspen. Yeah, I mean, that fix feels pretty like we know what to do. So that is actually good though, because if you were like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, like all this other stuff, like I don't know why I'm getting fat, that would be a problem, but you know what's causing it. So you're one step closer to a solution. Mist Worm. Really don't like this one. Actually, I love it. Yeah, I love him. So ends on tons of dope boss synchro monsters. Love. I mean, I'm 5'10" and about 200. That's like not that bad. Like, that's not that bad. I think like height is definitely like one of those things where it's like, you know, like you're just naturally way more, so it's like, don't feel too bad. Let's obviously get that weight down. But you are, you know, first, you know, step towards a solution is realizing you have a problem. And you're right there. Oh my god, I recently watched the like old school Yu-Gi-Oh, like the very first like series or whatever. It was amazing. I got to the one where they like figured out, I need to turn this heat down. No, but essentially they figured out how that girl was cheating at Yu-Gi-Oh! Was because she was perfuming her cards and all of that. It was so good. It was so good. I love her. Okay, I'm gonna turn my heat down. I'm dying. I'll be right back. Yeah. Yeah, I love Harpy decks. Oh, Aspen, you're too sweet. Hi, Mike, Literus. Yeah, I don't really like transgender women generally. Like, we don't generally get along, and you know, like, which is so sad because I'm like, why are we at war with each other? We're definitely all taking L's, so it's like, why are we all hating each other? Like, I don't get it. But that being said, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Yes. Is that the one where they're like on motorcycles? I like that one. I like all of it, to be honest with you. And I wish that there was like a game where it was Yu-Gi-Oh! But like all of the cards like became like a 3D like model like in the anime. I'm like, give me that with like the OG cards or something, and let me create a character and have online duels. I'm like, that would be sick. It's very much, I bet like Pokemon would, those fucking bastards at Nintendo would try to take it down. But I want it anyway. Someone needs to stop being a coward. Aw, thank you, BJ. That's so sweet of you. There are some assholes, but people do try to push back. I can't remember what we were talking about, but that is so true, sister. Thank you for liking the live. Holy moly, you guys are so sweet. Hi, Borderlands. That being said, you know, there's a lot of infighting and stuff like that, and just try to rise through it. Aspen, you're killing it. You're doing so good. A 1-year anniversary is such a good thing. But yeah. Hi, Brian. Aspen, so how long have you been on HRT? So I started like 2 weeks before my 15th birthday, I want to say. And I am 27 now. So like 12-ish years, I would say, like I've been doing it. And it's kind of wild. Like, so I live in like rural Missouri, so it's like, or I lived in rural Missouri. Now I live in Kansas City, Missouri. TarnishedgF, yes, definitely from Elden Ring. I love that game. I platinumed it on Steam. No, so I like started in rural Missouri whenever I was like definitely a minor. And that whole story is kind of crazy, but yeah, it's been a long ass time. Yeah. Thank you for liking. Holy moly. Thank you, Monkey Man. You're so sweet. And I guess during that, like whenever I first started, oh, thank you, Scissor. You're so sweet. Holy shit. That means so much. Hi, Elijah. No, yeah. So whenever I started, so I had like gone to a bunch of like my, like, what are they called? Like general health practitioners. And I went to a bunch of doctors in like that kind of rural area, and I told them, you know, kind of what I was like thinking, and like I wanted to get on this medication and shit like that. And they all like told me no. And all of this stuff, which is like, you know, I get why they would tell me no, because I was like a minor trying to access this medication that permanently changes you. Like I kind of get it. So I went through like a ton of like trying to find a doctor to give me the medication. And I ended up coming to Kansas City, and this is like, you know, it took everything to like even get there, because like Kansas City is like an hour and like or like an hour and like 20 minutes from my hometown. And so like my grandparents, they didn't like it anyway, and they definitely were going to drive me for like an hour and 20 minutes to go get this medicine. And so I ended up having to like find a way to get there, and I did, and then I ended up like walking in, and I was super scared because I was like, if she tells me that she's not going to give me this medication, I'm going to blow my brains out. But I walked in and I told her like the whole thing. I like gave her this like huge, like, you know, like here's everything. Laid it all out for her. I was probably talking, you know, 100 words a minute or like something crazy. And she was like, let's all calm down. You're leaving here on this medication. Like, you don't need to like sell me this like hard on it. Like, I can just like, you know, I just know. And it was very simple. And I started medication like that day. Like, I think I left with a shot. So just kind of a crazy story. Had no problems since then. Actually, I did have problems. Like, anytime you don't, oh, hi, Kilarpius. Anytime I would like take or like miss a dose of my medication was when horrible things would happen. So that's just my recommendation to everyone. I don't care if you like miss for like a few months, like you're gonna get uglier. And that's just how it is. You're gonna feel uglier. You're gonna look uglier. Like, it's just one of those things. And I also think it kind of made me crazy. Like, I feel like whenever I stopped, and it's probably like a combination of factors why I would feel crazy, you know, or I was probably like less happy. And then also I think like just chemically, like it kind of opens you up to some really bad shit. But yeah, I feel like missing doses made me insane. Wish it was easier and cheaper to get, for sure. It's sad how demonized it is, yeah. I kind of take flack from both sides on this, but I think it's like probably the easiest way for me to, like, here's how I think of it. I think of like being trans as almost like a mental health thing. Like, I think of it as like a medical condition, like no different from anything else. I think it's just like a medical issue. Like, I think that we were just like born wrong. Whenever I describe it, I like liken it to something like a cleft palate or something. Like, there's like a disfigurement about me that is like fundamental and really out of my control. And so that's how I describe it to people. And so like my medication for that is like literally fixing something wrong with me physically. And I think that kind of helps people like kind of like wrap their like head around it. Because I think people almost like more think of it as like a political thing, you know, rather than like a medical condition, which I think is a better way of like thinking about it. Hi, Macablin. But yeah, there's like a lot of shit about it. I really want to get to the point, tell me if this would be fun, where I would love to like have a like a phone that people could call into. I think that would be so fun. Thank you, Aspen. Oh, I don't know how to stop this. Like, there's this like crazy filter on it. Makes my eyes look wild. But yeah. Aspen, how has like HRT been for you? Oop, I don't know what the DSM-5 is. Oh, is that like the mental health thing? Like the same as like bipolar and like all of that? Why do you think people always constantly talk about passing and always concerned? I am low-key one of those people. I definitely have lived a lot of my life being, oh yeah, no. Aspen, I definitely, was and am one of those like people until very recently, whenever I was like, you know what, there was like a friend of mine and he was like you should talk about it, like all this other shit. I really did not like talking about it. I definitely don't think that like the trans thing is like something that is really like part of my personality, and so like I would hate talking about it because it's like fuck, like people are just gonna only think of me connected to that whenever I'm like so many things outside of that. So like the question of like talking about like passing a lot, that was kind of like my main thing, is just like, dude, I don't want to fucking talk about this shit like ever in my life. And so that's why I think a lot of people have like a preoccupation with it, but I could be wrong. I definitely, because I think of it as kind of like a medical condition, I almost kind of think that is like you're getting back to like where you should be. Like you're fixing like a wound. You're fixing like something that's like not broken about you, but just like, you know, whatever, like just like something like that. And so like passing is kind of like the natural state you should be in. And so that's why I kind of consider it like the goal. But hi, Julie. Oh my God. Ooh. But yeah, that's kind of what I think about it. It's not a, it's all very like individual. Hi, Angel. You know what I've been thinking about? There is this, yeah, Aspen, I think that is kind of like why it matters. Like, I think that like passing just makes you feel so much better. Like it just makes you feel so much better. How could it not? No, but I have been debating playing Digimon. Hi, TG. I've been debating playing Digimon. What the fuck's it called? It's like Cyber Time Stranger or like whatever. Like the latest Digimon game that came out in October, like October 15th of 2025. Oh, Aspen, I definitely smoke cigarettes as well. And I haven't gotten a blood clot yet, but that is definitely something that is in my story. I can tell. I can feel it coming. It's just a matter of time. But yeah. No, I'm very much into Digimon right now. I'm in a very Digimon time of my life, I feel. But yeah. Whenever so I got the surgery in 2020. I've only ever had hi, not a dog suit. I got the surgery in 2020. Yeah, so HRT can cause, blood clots and stuff. And those are so weird, and I really do not want to get a blood clot. But, no, it's very scary. Low key, I'm kind of like, okay, like, if I die, I die. That is just like what it is. Like, it's just gonna be what happens. Like, I can't control it. I mean, I guess I can control it to a degree, but, hi, Tatus. Oh, no, you cannot, Aspen. No, you cannot. They like say that you're supposed to like stop like a few like months or something like that before you can get, you know, any sort of like surgery, just because it's like with the smoking, yeah, you're like at a much higher likelihood, of that shit. But yeah. Yeah, the surgery, I got it during like July of 2020, and I was dating this guy at the time, and oh, hi, Goloth. so July 2020, full COVID, by the way, like you're having to deal with all of like that shit. So I had to get like a COVID test and do all of this other like stuff. And like it was so weird because it was almost like we were like cheating to like the system to like get me in and get the surgery. So I don't know like what, you know, God was definitely smiling on me a little bit. And because I was able to get it and it was like totally fine. But I do feel like that was like a wild ass time. I was so worried that I was going to get COVID because if you get COVID, they're like done. Like you cannot get this like at all. I had to get so many COVID tests. Yeah, Aspen, that'll be good. I definitely have, I should make a video about that tonight. Kind of about the like surgery and stuff like that and like tips and tricks. Because there's definitely some shit that I would do, differently. I should do that. That is such a good idea. Thank you, Aspen. Holy shit. Wish I had a co-host. Ugh. I definitely need like one of those like shake plates or something because I get such bad like back pain if I'm just like standing for a period of time. It's definitely the worst. But yeah. What was I about to say? I'm like trying to figure out, oh, you're so sweet, Aspen. Oh my God. I feel like my face has changed so much on, like hormones. It's like wild. There's like a bunch of shit that I feel like has changed on hormones, but then science. Oh, hi Slim. But then science says it doesn't. And I'm like, I don't know. So like one is like facial, like, you know, structure. Like I feel like I look totally fucking different. Oh, thank you, Slim. That is so sweet. Hi, James. What do you like since you got the surgery? So the surgery, so for anyone new joining, I definitely used to have a penis. And some of the things I really enjoy like post-surgery, like one, jeans fit so much better. Now, I definitely do get a camel toe on occasion, but largely we're all good. And, you know, like, that is just great, like, feeling like you could wear, like, whatever the fuck you want. And then another thing, oh, wait, was the surgery scary? Yeah, I definitely recorded a video, and I was like, this is the last you're gonna see of me. I'm going to die during this surgery. Like, I was very scared of getting that surgery. And, oh, thank you for following Thistle Witch. Oh my God. No, the surgery was super scary and definitely thought I was gonna die. And there was also a chance like getting to the surgery that day because I got it during COVID, because they were gonna like test me again for COVID. And there was like a chance that I could be day of thinking I'm about to have a vagina now. But if I have COVID, which there was no way of knowing really, that it's all over and it's postponed indefinitely. And there's like so much that goes into even getting one of those surgeries on the books. Hi, Tenacious. Like how long would I have had to wait if I just like happened to get COVID that day? Like it was wild. It was so wild. Oh my God, thank you for following Gasser Bob. Holy shit, that is so sweet of you. No, so it was definitely super, super scary. Nothing's TMI, ask whatever you want. But then other things, was dilation annoying to do? Yeah, it's like definitely the worst fucking thing on the planet. So I got the surgery and I was like, why does it just feel like I have a smaller vagina than everyone else seems to have? Well, I said that and then, you know, what was I not doing? Dilating. You know what I mean? So it's like, they tell you to do it for a reason. And like, even I, feeling like a somewhat intelligent person, should know that that is something that you need to do. Like they say it for a reason. But I wasn't doing it. And so obviously I was having problems. So like within the last like 6 months, I would say there's like this thing, I was like going down this rabbit hole of like, do I have like vaginismus or like something like that? No, it's just, I was not dilating. But one of the cures for like vaginismus that I found on a Reddit like thread, you know, going super down. And one of the cures was like, hey, dilate every fucking day. Like literally dilate every single day. And it sounds like such a chore because it's like 30 minutes. You're having to like sit there with something inside you. Thank you for following, by the way. And so it's like really not fun to do. Like it is not fun to do at all. Hi, Dan. And so I didn't do it for the longest time. I would dilate like once every like month or something like that. And then wondering the whole time why I'm having issues like having someone enter me. But then after dilating every day, like I had so few problems. Like it was such a noticeable difference even after like 3 weeks of doing that. So dilation, definitely annoying to do. Imagine like brushing your teeth for 30 minutes. Like it's something that is like crucial to the maintenance of your body. But it's really not glamorous or fun to do, and frankly, like kind of uncomfortable, but it's absolutely necessary. That is like, it's kind of a tough thing. But dilation, all in all, necessary, sucks. And I would venture to say that you should do it years and years and years. Like I got the surgery probably like 5 years ago now. And you should probably do it for low-key life. Aspen, does it hurt? So that kind of depends. So it hurts. In my experience, here's how it hurts and doesn't hurt. Dilation hurts if you're like just, you know, laying in your bed and you just like put the thing like in you. Hi, Michaela, by the way. When it doesn't hurt is if you almost do it as like a sort of like, in like an act of like, I don't say like self-pleasuring, but like almost like you're like getting into like the mood of it. You know what I mean? Because that's still dilation. One of them is fun. The other one is not fun. One of them feels like a medical thing. The other one is like, this is kind of hot. Hi, Black Betty. So there's ways to kind of like trick your mind into doing it. And they say that like regular, you know, intercourse has like that same like effect. I almost kind of think that it doesn't. Like I think dilation is much worse. But it needs to be kind of, you know what I mean? Like if you want to like have like I think that dilation prepares you for the worst. I think it prepares you to encounter the worst penis of your life. And then regular sex, it's like everything is beneath that. Like, you know, not to get TMI, but like this is like all medical. So yeah. Any other questions about that? I'm happy to get into it. I definitely, oh, hi, Michael. It is definitely, there's some things that just, the reason why I talk about it, I think it's just hard for you to want to do something because a doctor told you to do it. Just to be quite frank, like, yeah. Are you dry down below? Do you stay moist if you don't have the hormones of a woman for pleasure? So here's how it works, like anatomically, I guess, is like, I don't produce like the fluids that like a, you know, natural like woman would or whatever. But there's almost like a self-lubrication that happens as a result of like, they think it's from like the prostate or something like that. But it's not enough in my experience to like get the job done low key. So like I end up using like a lubricant or something like that, but there is some level of self-lubrication. So I'm like, that's kind of what I like. There's going to be people like, if you looked online, this is why I'm like, this is like such a, you know, it's like the Wild West of science, because we have like doctors who are definitely saying what I'm going through is not real. But I know it's real. Like I'm experiencing it. So it's like, you guys are full of shit. No, you definitely, oh, thank you for following, Michaela. So yeah, it's kind of a mixed answer. Does that answer it? How early did you know? Well, that's kind of a tough question because I grew up and I just acted how I acted, right? And how I acted was like a little girl. Hi, Rachel. I acted like a little girl. And to the point where like my peers, you know, people at like, you know, in kindergarten or whatever, would see me and like, I would get questions if I was like a girl or boy. And it was purely based off of like how I acted. So like, I didn't really know that I was a boy for like a long time. And the reason for that is my parents, they tried to like, you know, let me kind of get out of that phase. They were definitely of the opinion that it was a phase, which I think makes sense. Like we're talking about like the early 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s. Hi, Alejandro. And, you know, I think it's natural to like think that your child would go through like a phase like that. And, but I was not growing out of that phase. Like I would be very attracted to like girl toys and like dressing like a girl, even when I was told not to and stuff like that. And that's not necessarily like, if you like girl stuff, that doesn't mean you're a girl. It just so happened, you know, that was the case. And that was just like one of many indicators that there was probably something like, you know, different about me. And, I'm 27, user. And so didn't know that I was like really a boy until I started to go to like school. And then my parents were like, okay, like we're going to start getting shit for this. Like it's going to be much more public. We have to stop this behavior. And so like, that's kind of when like the beating started and like the abuse and like all that started because I was not giving up. Like I was like, why are you making me do this? But I ended up kind of like pushing it down and, those behaviors, actually there wasn't even any behaviors at this time, but around puberty, I started to feel really bad and like depressed and like all this like bad shit. And I was like, what is causing this? Like, I had no idea what was causing it. I just thought I was depressed, all of this other stuff. And I almost kind of like forgot a lot of this stuff from whenever I was little. And I don't know if that's like trauma. I don't know if that's like whatever. But I got to like 15 or so and I like was home from school. I like definitely was faking being, you know, sick to get out of going to school. And I happened to be watching Jerry Springer that day, funnily enough. And they brought like this like woman on who I thought was a woman. Like she was very beautiful. And she ended up being trans. And like they brought her on to make fun of her. Like that is just what it was. And they did. They kind of like torched her ass. But she was beautiful. But she was like, yeah, I was born a boy and I'm a girl. And just that like simple phrase, like I was like, I didn't know that was an option. And then a lot of those memories started coming back. Thank you for following, Dakota. And I was like, that is me. And then it's kind of the rest is history. So that's kind of it. Oh, thank you, Dakota. You're very sweet. What do I do for work? I do sales. Do you watch Dolls Deranged? I don't know who that is. Who are they? So I heard there is all different types of bottom surgeries. Yes, there is. Now, I don't know what kind I got. I kind of got like sorting hatted. I just got what the fuck I got. I did not ask any questions. I was like, do this right now. Hi, Tyler. So I don't know all the different kinds. Low key, it almost feels like because they keep coming out with like different like ways of doing the surgery. I almost feel like I'm at like an iPhone 11 and like an iPhone 12 just came out. Every time something like new, like a new way of doing that surgery comes out, I'm like, do I have a worse vagina? Like, I don't really know. High spread positivity. Yeah, a girl like me. No, I have not. I am really bad at like watching movies and shows and shit. Like, I just can't. Yeah, Canon, that is so funny. I like, that is so, I'm happy. Like, don't have any problems. Hi, Zane. I'm happy with what I got. I'm just like, whatever. I kind of almost like it more. How hard is the voice training? So Michaela, I have bad news. I didn't do voice training, to be honest with you. I think it's a combination of me starting young, and I also think hormones change your voice a little bit. So I don't really have any advice on how to like change your voice, but in one of the videos that I posted to my account, I think while I didn't intentionally do any like voice training, what I did do was consume like a ton of like girl media. And I think that influenced the way that I talk a ton, and maybe even like the pitch that I naturally want to speak into just by pure hours spent consuming that media. So that is something that I would recommend to you. Hi, Chris. Yeah, so the surgery, like the surgery thing, like getting having like a surgery that is like 4 versions like old, I almost kind of think of it as like you know, you can't choose your like genitals anyway, you know what I mean, like whenever you're born. So I'm like, it's almost like that's kind of my lot in life. It's whatever. Hi, Booty Juicin. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I would do differently, you know, like with my transition and stuff like that. Like, for example, and I got into this in like one of my videos too. I was like 15 and I was about to start all of the medication and stuff like that. Oh, thank you for liking, guys. You're so sweet. Right, like the day that I was like about to start, you know, medication, they had like a nurse come in and talk to me. Oh, hi, penguins. And they were like, essentially they were like, hey, like, this is kind of it. Like, if you want to, and I understand that you're like 15, but if you want to have kids one day, like, this is the time where you need to low-key make that decision and like decide if you want to freeze sperm before we give you this medicine, because it's going to nuke your chance at getting, you know, at having kids, essentially. Now that's not the case. There's like some fancy science stuff that you can do. Not much, Chris, just taking questions if you got any. But now there's like fancy science stuff that you can do. But oh, thank you for joining, Semper. But at the time they were basically like, hey, like if you want to have kids, like you need to make that decision right now. And if you decide that you want kids, we cannot start this medication today. And I was like a kid, and I have no impulse control now. Like if I want something, I want it right now. And I was like, fuck that. Like, you know, that's a problem for future me. And it definitely became a problem for me because now being, you know, a 27-year-old woman, I want kids. So it's like, but that decision that I made whenever I was 15 has made my options very limited in that regard. And so that's just like one example of like things that I would probably, you know, elect to do differently now, but you can't change the past. Oh, thank you for liking, Chris. Yeah. So if anyone is like here who is like, you know, kind of considering HRT but you know, maybe you're like a maybe on kids, I would give that some thought and do the stuff necessary to make that a possibility right now before you're, you know, kind of at the edge of the cliff. But yeah. Hi, Eli. Hi, Zach. Yeah. Trying to think if there's any other like things that I wish I would have known. Oh, for like whenever you have the surgery, when you have any surgery, hi, Nicholas, you are at very high risk of falling. And I fell in the hospital and I like fucked my face up. And so definitely watch out for that. I'm trying to see it flip flop when I hit for real. Love that. Yeah, you might fall. Just believe them whenever they say that, you might fall. Because I did not believe them. I was like, what the fuck you're going to tell me that I'm going to fall? No, I'm not. And then I definitely fell and then cracked my face against a sink. and had like a split, and I was like super, it was like a very minor split. Hi Ishmael. And I was definitely panicking. I was like, if this scars, I'm killing everyone in this hospital. But it didn't really scar, so it's all fine. Hey there guys, thank you for joining. Oh, thank you for following, Colin. That's so sweet. So definitely watch out for following. In terms of like what I would bring, definitely bring something to keep you entertained. So I brought a Nintendo Switch. I brought a bunch of other, shit to play. Avid gamer, obviously. And so I would bring something to keep you entertained. I would also bring, hi Lexi, I would bring some dry shampoo. So something that they don't tell you either is like showering, because it's probably going to be like a couple days or something, or like maybe more before you can actually shower. And so bring some dry shampoo, bring like anything that you need to like make yourself feel fresh. You know what I mean? Because I didn't bring dry shampoo, and I just was like, I fucking hated my life. I felt so like my hair was so greasy. Hi Norma. Oh my God. Hi Lexi and Seamus. Thank you for joining. So I bring all of that stuff as well. And I don't know if they let you bring outside food. Also something that I found out from the surgery is I love morphine. So I'm glad that I don't know how to get that. But yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm like, it's not just like, can you afford to like, can you wait to save sperm? Like that is like something that is like a big ask for people. But then also, do you have money to do that shit? It's definitely much like you have to pay money to have that, so, and I think that was also something that I considered as well at the time. Oh, thank you, Seamus. Hi, Tally. Hi, Will. So yeah, and then other things that I would do, I would say, so I actually, leading up to the surgery, I was like struggling with like an eating disorder, to be honest with you. And so like something that I had to do prior to my surgery is like gain weight, actually. Like they do not want to do those surgeries on people who are underweight, overweight. Like you need to be in like very good condition, essentially. And so I had to go to treatment before I could even do it. So I would do that work now. If you're thinking about getting the surgery at some point, you need to do that work now so you don't get postponed later, because they will find it out. They will find it out. So do that now. Oh, thank you for liking the live, Tally. That's so sweet of you. I'm trying to think what else. Have someone to visit you. I had someone come in and pray over me because I was very much scared. Yeah, Aspen. So you got to be in good physical condition, to get that surgery. So, just like, figure it out. Not everyone's the same. Mine, I got mine done at KU Med, which is like local to me. But that was like something that but also here's the thing, like they thought I was gonna die low key from like, like that was like something that but also here's the thing, like they thought I was gonna die low key from like, like I was, sorry, I don't know if that just glitched. So that is something that you have to consider. My case is not everyone's case, like I'm very much aware of that. But yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. I guess what questions do you guys have about it? It's kind of a weird, thing. I really wish that, I wish that people weren't as afraid. Oh, hi, Mark. I wish that people weren't as afraid in real life to like ask questions about it. Because I think that there's like a bunch that they just don't really like, like I told you guys, like I'm not generally like out, to the world, or at least I wasn't until recently. I started making these TikToks and shit. But like whenever I would like have a conversation with someone who like either I knew didn't like trans people, you know, like I would have relationships with people for like years who didn't know about me, but would talk to me about hating trans people. And they had no idea because I mean, like, I am not, I'm not gonna confront you on it. There's like some stuff that I think is valid. Like, I'm not going to judge you for, you know, anything. But if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. And I think a lot of people in real life are just, once they have a conversation with me, it just really kind of like helps them, I think, because I think that they think that we're all kind of the same. And why ask questions? I feel like I know everything about you. So like, that's kind of why I like not telling people all the time, because it challenges a lot of their like preconceived like notions and shit. Yeah, Aspen, I mean, like, I kind of get why they make people like lose or gain weight, just because it definitely could kill your ass. You know, if you're really obese and you get like a surgery, like your heart just can't get blood out there like that. I feel, I could be wrong. I am not a nurse or a medical professional, but I just feel like that is what would happen. But yeah, like I got a job as like a cocktail waitress at like the best jazz lounge here in Kansas City. And I didn't tell my boss at the time because I'm like, I think that's really not good I don't think it's smart to do, to be honest with you. Cause it's like, I only stand to like lose if I tell you that. And frankly, I'm like, you should be hiring me if you think I'm gonna be good at the fucking job. You know, if you think I'm gonna be good at the job, like what does it matter? I ended up getting the job, and I was like the highest selling cocktail waitress in that motherfucker. Like I was like running circles around those people, and it was like the type of place where you'd have to wear like a dress and like you had to look really good. But then we ended up getting a coffee, and I told her all about it, and it totally seemed to 180 her opinion. And I just think that's like, I just love that. Like, I just love it. And I want to transition pretty bad, but I still live with my parents, and I'm 22 and don't know how I could. I'm gonna be honest. You need to choose it over absolutely everything in your life. And that's a very hard thing to ask of someone. Hi, Joseph. It's a hard thing to ask of someone, but you absolutely need to. It is, it's imperative, I think. Sorry, I'm doing like a verification or something. So sorry, I had to do a verification. But you have to choose it. So I ended up choosing to go into foster care before not being able to transition. And you have to have the courage of your conviction. You just gotta. It kind of makes me sad when I try to make friends with trans women and they just make it a competition. That is very true. I think that we're kind of a miserable bunch, to be honest with you. And I think that when it becomes a competition, when people think of it as a defining like personality characteristic rather than a medical condition. And that's why I push that so heavy. Because I'm like, are you competing about like a fucking medical thing? Like you just wouldn't, if that's how you thought of it, you wouldn't be like that. You wouldn't be a bitch and think of it as a competition and all this other shit. So that's why I don't associate with those people. I don't know what knob could afford to move out without a college degree. I definitely get that. Oh wait, I heard rumors that insurance companies will pay for gender affirming. Oop. I accidentally sent someone an invite. Oop. If they join, I'm going to have to kick them. Oop. I really hope they don't join. As a co-host, I'm like, fuck, I accidentally invited someone to co-host. I heard that insurance companies will pay for gender affirming care surgeries, but I don't know. So that is true in part. So they will pay up to like your deductible or something like that. I don't know how insurance works. They will pay, a ton of it. So like mine was $22,000, I want to say. And I had, you know, insurance at the time. I had to go and get private insurance, and which I think open enrollment ends, I think today's the last day that you can do it. And you get private insurance, and I think that I had like Anthem or something like that. I can't remember. And but my deductible was like $2,000. And so I had to pay $2,000, and then they paid the rest, is kind of how it works. So that's true in part, kind of. Hi, Isaiah. Like, where I live, apparently they cover 100% of the surgeries, but I don't know. That's what I heard. Oh, well, I mean, that's good. Hell, I mean, like, go for it. You probably live in a very blue state if that's the case. My nose is, like, running. It's so terrible. Medicaid does not cover it generally. Medicaid's kind of a bitch to work with. If you're like a medical person, you know that's true. Medicaid's terrible, and it's only gonna get worse. So yeah, I would not count on that. Hi, money emoji. Yeah, Michaela, I think that's absolutely true. I think like just rip the Band-Aid off, and it just, there's no sense delaying. I mean, you wouldn't do that with like a breakup. I mean, it doesn't work in any life situation. Like, why would you think it wouldn't work now? But your journey is your own, and you're gonna figure it out in your own way. Hi, Saleya. There's no like standardization with any of this shit. Like, it all gets very like, it's all very individual to a degree. I think there are some like through lines. To a degree. I think there are some like through lines. People are calling me right now because I'm definitely skipping a hangout I'm 49, and I regret not doing this earlier, but in the 90s this was unheard of and got you beaten. Yeah. Yep. It is, it used to be really bad. It was even bad, you know, whenever I was kind of doing it. I feel like I'm the problem or whatever because I'm friends with some T-girls, but they don't treat me as one. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Hi, Piero. I kind of think, so this is probably like a unpopular opinion. So whenever I was doing it, so I lived in like a town of like, you know, 350 people or so. And, you know, it was very much frowned upon, but at the end of the day, I chose to do it anyway. Hello, son, G4, G3. Oh, thank you for liking, JP. But at the end of the day, I chose to do it anyway, and that got me fucked around with very often. But I almost think that conflict, you know, that you would have every day, if you could like go through hell at school, at work, you know, for being transgender, but then go home at the end of the day and know that you're gonna have a terrible fucking day the next day, but still choose to do it. Like, I feel like that level of like trial and tribulation, it got out any of these like detransitioners, if they hit that like screen of like horrible stuff, they would never have gotten to the point, you know, that they're in and now they're detransitioning. So I do think that like conflict and like all of that stuff, I think that it is helpful in maybe that one way. And they get mad because I barely talk to them. Oh, yeah, don't be friends with them. They're stupid and weird. Oh, thank you, JP. That's very sweet of you. You look like your dad. That is true, I'm told, to be honest. I'm still going, but I'm so super early still in my transition, even though it's barely 1 year. Yeah. Hi, Tyler. The way that, I don't know, like, if you're not getting along with trans people, and I didn't either, don't hang out with those motherfuckers. Like, they're not worth it. Hi, Shannon. Thank you so much for liking. That is so sweet of you. I almost think, like, trans people bully each other. Like, I felt very much bullied in, like, more insidious ways by other LGBTQ people. And, like, they would always be the ones to, like, out me or would only talk about that shit. And I'm just not like that. Like, I just don't care about it. When did you start? I started whenever I was 15 in rural Missouri. Aw, that's so good, Aspen. Hi, Dante. Yeah, started a long time ago. Feels like a lifetime ago, to be honest with you. But yeah. How does starting at 35 would be? So I'm gonna be honest with you. Girl, do you think 16 is still too early to start? No. But here's the thing. I don't think 16 is too early to start because I started at 15, right? But like I told you, I had everyone in my life fucking make my life terrible because of it. And that's how I knew that I was trans, because I was still choosing to do it anyway, even though my life was a million times worse in like every single way. Now you can be 16 and have absolutely no problems, be affirmed by everyone in your life, and then you end up transitioning like 5 years later. So like it depends on your environment if I would recommend that or not. Sorry, son, I got sidetracked there. How would starting at 35 be? I'm gonna be honest with you. You missed a good amount of time, but better late than never. I think that there's gonna be a lot that can be done for you after starting, you know, hormones and stuff like that. It's probably gonna take you like 5 to 10 years to be at a place where you're comfortable with yourself. But that's better than living for, you know, 50 years hating yourself entirely. So I would definitely start, if you think that that's your life path, go make sure that you're therapied, you know, and all of that. That is, you know, probably a good way to start. I always recommend, you know, to use like things like surgery and all of that as kind of like a last resort. Hi, Daniel. Thank you for joining. And yeah, thank you for following, Nala. That is so sweet of you. Use surgery as a last resort. I am pretty firmly entrenched in the side of like, thank you, son, for following. I'm very firmly entrenched in the side that is like, you know, you have just like a ton going for you, like naturally. I think it's kind of like, you know, I think it's really like, you know, sad that people feel like they're, you know, ugly and all of that, you know, without really giving themselves an honest chance. So I would use that as a last resort. How did my friends react when I decided to transition? It was absolutely not a secret to anyone around me. So if you're like a trans person, now it can be, so don't, if this is not your, you know, situation, don't feel like you're any less, you know, this could still be you. So like I was very effeminate. Like everyone literally, I could just not even say a word to you and you probably would have thought I was like gay or something. And so like it was not a surprise that something was different about me. So that made it a little bit easier. Now the trans thing, I got so much shit for it. And like as soon as I like started transitioning, Caitlyn Jenner started. And so like I'm like in this process and probably doing it for like a year and a half, and then this huge like cultural moment of like Caitlyn Jenner when she got on that magazine, the amount of shit that I got from that was terrible. It was terrible. And like I would be like sitting in class at high school and our teachers would like start talking about it, and you know, I didn't have, you know, an opinion. I thought she, you know, she just looked like an older woman kind of like dressing inappropriate for her age. And I didn't know Bruce Jenner. I didn't know any of that. And so I just was like, can we stop talking about it? Because the more that we talk about it, the more shit that I get. And so, yeah, my friends were absolutely not surprised by it. Now, they knew something was different about me. They didn't know what it was, and the trans thing definitely surprised them. But like weirdly, growing up in that town of like 350 people, I found a lot of people who were super supportive of me. So don't write off small towns. They're full of, you know, amazing people who do anything for you. So yeah. Hello, Evelyn. You're so sweet. Wild Bunny. Oh, you're so sweet. I got bangs probably 7 years ago, and it was the best thing that I've ever done for my personal style. Son, I am 27, just turned 27. God, I feel so fucking ancient. And, I feel every second of that. So, oh, thank you so much for liking Wild Bunny. Oh, hi, Butt Hugger 69. And, oh, thank you, son. I appreciate that. I feel like I have definitely been ugly in my life. I'm definitely glad to be what feels like on the other side of it some days. I'm going to be 30 this year. Congratulations. People say that that's when life actually starts. God, I hope that's true. That is definitely on the horizon for me. Hi, Nay. Hello, guys. Thank you for joining. We're just doing a Q&A session. If you have any questions about, you know, transitioning, all that other shit, or if you just had like a question that you wanted to ask, you know, that you are like too stressed out or like embarrassed to ask, I'm happy to do it. No such thing as a bad question or a rude one in my mind, so just ask away. Oh, thank you for following, Wild Bunny. That's so sweet of you. This live is so fun. Hi, Charlie. Yeah, there is a lot of, it's just different. I don't even know if I could really give advice for, you know, really young trans people of today, because I'm like, I didn't grow up with some of the stuff that you guys are. Hi, Raven. So it's a little bit tough to give advice to you all. Oh, hi, Aspen. Thank you for joining again. I would say, so if I had to speak, I guess, to maybe someone who is like unsure if they're trans, like if you're like a, you know, straight dude, you know, and you're like kind of, maybe you like really have no idea that you're trans. Oh, I would love to be friends. Yes, I'd love to be friends. I would start doing some very vast reflection into yourself, and all that other good shit. I think I have a video on it, you know, if you're kind of new to the idea. Just some stuff to kind of like, you know, see if there might be something there. So, but let me know if that's something of interest. Hi, Noah. But yeah. I would say regarding like the transition, probably the hardest aspect of it. Oh, hi, user. Probably the hardest aspect of it all. Fuck. If I had to pick one thing, that's really hard. No one else asked that. I asked that to myself. If I had to pick one thing, you kind of have to like, at least for me. So like, here's the thing. I was like, okay, after I found out that it was a thing, I was like, I can't live any other way. Like I have to, I'm very dogged in the things that I want. Like if I want something, I'm gonna get it. And for me, I was like, I will give up everything to do this. Like, I don't care what it is. I'll give up family. I'll give up, I'll give up anything. I don't fucking care. Cause I knew that I couldn't live any other way. And I think that that's kind of, I wish that I could like give that to people, cause that's kind of what you have to do. And it's a very hard thing. So like I gave up, parents, gave up grandparents. I gave up, everyone. And luckily, being on the other side of it now, I've gotten some of them back. Oh, thank you, Kyle. There's no haters here, but have a good night. And hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. And yeah, so just prepare to lose a lot of people in your life. Did you have a voice inspo for training? So regarding like voice training, so we actually got into this a little bit earlier. I did not do really any voice training, but I did consume a lot of girl media. And a lot of the things that I would watch was things like Jennifer's Body was a big one. Oh, thank you, Fallen. Jennifer's Body was a big one. And I was very much obsessed with, Charlie, I love it. Okay, good. So now we have a larger, I can now corroborate it, that works. Cause I think that is literally a method. I think you need to watch a lot of like girl media, and then you just talk like that. Hi, Spacey. I think if you're a trans woman and you are consuming absolutely no girl media and you're doing voice training, which is only pitching your voice up, you're doing it so wrong. Like, you're just doing it so wrong. Hi, Fernando. You just sound like a dude, unfortunately, with like a high voice. Hi, Miss Queen. But that's fixable. Yeah, Charlie, that is so real. Hi, Panda. I think that that's definitely a method. So watched a lot of Jennifer's Body, watched a lot of, what else did I watch? Like a lot of like High School Musical, a lot of like iCarly, watched a lot of like the Barbie movies, watched a lot of this like other stuff. Hi, Miss Queen. I am doing pretty good. We have just been hanging out, asking questions, all of that stuff. So if you have a question, feel free to drop it. Yes, we do, Charlie. Yes, we do. Hi, Heckman. So yeah, I think that's like imperative. I think that's super imperative. And I also think like anime and stuff help as well. Like Sailor Moon. Love Sailor Moon. Oh, thank you for following, Spacey. That's so sweet of you. Oh, and Shannon. Oh my God. You guys are so nice. Hi, Steve. And Jonas. There's just a lot of people, it's like the trans thing, like it's actually very simple. So like, thank you for following, I'm gonna be honest, Manga Von Hell. That is so sweet of you. The trans thing, I think, it's scary at face value. I think it's less scary if you consider it, a medical issue, like I said. But anytime I'm on a date, I'm like, dude, like, just ask whatever. Oh, thank you, Drew. Yeah, we are live. Yeah, I really enjoy lives, to be honest. Ask away, fade away. Oh, thank you, Ethan. That is so sweet of you. Thank you for following. Yeah, ask whatever questions you want. I think that, oh my gosh, you guys are so sweet. Ethan and Heckman for following. Oh my God. I think that people just feel like they can't ask stuff. And I think that not asking stuff, it just like, you kind of answer the questions for yourself. And I think that doesn't do any good for anyone. My hair routine. So there's kind of two things that I would say regarding hair. Mine's kind of like fucked up right now. If you have a big forehead, get bangs, which I have a big forehead, so hence I have bangs. And actually there's 3 things. And then grow your hair out long. I think it's just flattering for everyone. I think long hair is the move. And keep it your natural color. And I actually had to confront that truth recently. I was like blonde for like the longest time. Oh, thank you for following, Charlie. I was blonde for the longest time, and it's just not, unfortunately, it is just not flattering. Like the hair that you have naturally, it's just kind of the hair that you like need to have. Like I think it's just the most flattering, you know what I mean? And so that's what I would recommend. Those 3 things, you do them, you're gonna be good. Jabba the Hutt, you can almost always tell. That is valid. Oh, thank you for following, Saturn. You're so sweet. I love that planet, low-key, and it's not even just because you followed me. I'm like, I love Saturn. Your natural color is so pretty, to be honest. Oh, you're so sweet. So it's funny, whenever I was blonde, I got a lot of like Taylor Swift allegations. But now what I usually get is like, Mousy Brown's pretty, Charlie. Don't piss me off. Mousy Brown is super pretty. You should go back to Mousy Brown. I get a lot of like Bella Swan now. Also, all of these things, if I accidentally like, I look like Megan Fox myself, like that girl from Love Island, like these are very loose comparisons. These are just the things that I hear from other people. But Bella Swan, I hear pretty often. And then also when I was blonde, I would get Sam from iCarly. But yeah, now it's like Bella Swan and like stuff like that. Oh, thank you, Saturn. That's so sweet of you. Oh, I have it. It looks darker and lighter depending on the light. You, Charlie, I'm obsessed with you. Oh, thank you for liking the live, Ethan. No, I think your natural hair color is the color you're supposed to have, low-key. Also, it's cheaper and like, let's just be real, like that really fucking matters. Tega. Hi, how are you? Flash of Azure just joined. Hi, how are you doing? So yeah, and then so this is like, don't come at me. These are just like the downsides of transitioning. Downsides of transitioning. You're probably gonna lose a lot of friends and family. So boom. We also have a really lot of bad statistics going our way. And I think it comes a lot from like not really having any like mentors and stuff like that, because there's a ton of infighting in the trans community. So a lot of those like numbers that I'm talking about is that we, kill ourselves more often. We aren't as employed. We aren't as educated generally. We're not graduating from college. And just overall life, satisfaction because of those things is usually kind of like lower. Now, I think that it comes down to the individual a lot. And there's some things that you can do to really, really help yourself. I think that you, on some level, have to kind of just lock in. And I've been on both sides of it. This is not coming from someone who has like had everything in their life handed to them. I definitely had to lock in. So whenever I tell you that you need to lock in to be able to overcome those numbers, I'm saying it because I love you, and I'm saying it because I did it. So those 2 things are true. And with all of that being said, you need to lock in. Dyed your hair purple several times over the years. I'm glad that you're back to Mousy Brown, Charlie. I had blue hair, just like full transparency. And I hate that now. So bad side of transitioning is basically how everyone treats us and reacts to us. Yeah, that is true. But I think it's true to a point. I think that that's kind of why I push like passing as kind of like the goal, because then all of that stuff kind of goes out the window. Yeah. Tega, ask all of your questions, please. Please. Happy to answer anything. Thank you for following, Chance. Yeah, like once you get to the point of passing, because then you're just like any other person. And it's like, why do you have to like, you know, why is that like kind of our goal to just be like any other person? But like, I think that's something that a lot of people miss, is that generally with people who are like normal and like, you know, just aren't kind of like narcissistic, like we see a lot of people, being just a person is like totally enough. And so that's like the goal for a lot of us. And I think some people who aren't trans kind of like forget that, or don't, you know, see that very often. But yeah, I used to get very, at my age, I don't think I could pass ever. Son, I don't think that's true. I think that there is some things that you can do to pass. I give me some things that you point to as like evidence that you can't pass, and we'll talk about it. And I'll just be totally honest with you if it's going to be a problem or not. Your height does. I could literally, there was a time where I was like, how do I get confined to a wheelchair so my height doesn't give me away? Oh, thank you for following Barfunkel. Cause I'm 5'11", which is kind of a crazy height for a woman. Now I'm not like 6'5" or anything like that. So always count your blessings when you can. Oh, thank you, Kason. There's a lot that you can do, to like fight some of that stuff. But yeah, there is some things that we absolutely cannot change. Passable, the more confident you are. Yeah. I think to a point, like bravado. So like, I think that there are some trans women who are overconfident, and think that, you know, things are going well for them, but it absolutely is not. So I think that you have to like be confident, but be smart as well. Ethan, so dating life. So I'm very lucky. I've been in 2 4-year-long relationships. Before I get into this, because this is gonna be long, son, I definitely feel you on some stuff. So broad jaw, get hair that has a lot of volume to it. So I kind of have that too, son, a little bit. So get hair that has a lot of like horizontal volume. Height is 5'8", totally fine. Everything, your height does not matter if the other boxes are ticked. So that one is, you know, not gonna be an issue. Ridge near brow bone, get bangs. That's what I did. So there we go. I'll send a galaxy if you whip it out. I have nothing to whip out, Brett. I'm very sorry to report. I do have a vagina. Hi, LV. So anyway, dating as a trans woman. So I've been in 2 4-year-long relationships in my life. I've done, you know, the very like domestic, you know, vibe. And I've done sort of like a young love type of vibe. They both started with a man who they'd never dated a trans woman in their life. And I've not had much success with anyone who has a preference for trans women ever. They're not someone who I've ever had any success with. And I think it is because so often, the type of men that you want are men who wouldn't probably think about it very much to, you know, date someone who's trans. If you have someone who's selecting for trans women, just like if someone was selecting for anything, like, you know, people with like fetishes for anything, they don't really care about you. They care about your status as that thing, and it needs to like fit their ideal for that thing. And it's best avoided. But dating in general, I've tried both, you know, avenues. Like, do I tell them, you know, initially? Do I not tell them initially? Now, when I would not tell them initially, this is before any sort of like sexual, you know, contact or anything like that. And because the idea was like, I want people to like get to know me for me. And that's led to 2, you know, really long relationships. So it's worked. But I've also tried leading with it, and that captured a lot of like the people who have a fetish for it. So that did not lead to so much success. But I've only dated in Missouri. And the men that I've dated have, you know, been men that you would never like think who would, you know, go for that. But all it takes is a little education and kind of realizing that we're people like anyone else. Kind of like anyone else. Kason, how long did it take for you to feminize your voice? Because I want to start doing it. I am not the best person to go to for voice training, unfortunately, Kason. I started when I was 15, which I think had an impact on, you know, my voice. Because it doesn't feel like I'm changing anything right now. But I started hormone therapy, and I think hormone therapy does change your voice. I don't care what anyone says. Thank you for following, Alicia. But something else that I did was I consumed a ton of like girl media, like media where like women were the focus and we're talking and like engaging in conversation and all of that. And I think that that helps a ton for your brain to like hear that and almost kind of parrot it. And I do think it changes your voice over time. Now you have to do it for a long time and you have to consume a lot of that media. So, but that is like something that you could do to help. And then how did you go about consulting for surgery? So it was a long process. I recommend that you get insurance in place first, which requires you calling the insurance company and being on the phone for a long time. And do not settle for anything other than a yes, we cover gender reassignment surgery or whatever it's called now. Once you do that, it's very easy to get in, you know, to get a consultation. It'll probably take you, you know, 1 or 2 visits. And there's probably, you know, some lab work that you have to do between that point and the surgery itself. But then it's going to be a matter of time as well. So this will all take, you know, months and months and months. If you started the process today, it's probably going to take a year for you to have a vagina. Yeah, it was actually fairly easy. And there's a lot more providers of that surgery than you think. I've been trying to be more androgynous lately, and apparently to me that means balancing it with femme. That's cool. Do you think that applies to trans people that prefer dating other trans people? Ethan, I think that trans people preferring to date other trans people is more about like, I don't think it's a physical preference. I think it's more of a like, you know me on some level because you know yourself. And I think that we're familiar with the struggle. It's not always the same, but we're familiar with struggle, you know, and particularly as it concerns like this specific stuff. So I think there's a lot that you inherently bond about. I've never dated a trans person, but that's kind of what I imagine it being like. Where do I live? So I live in Missouri. And then, okay. It's not sending my messages. Sad face for me as well. Yeah, Charlie, you just got to treat them, you know, individual by individual. Thank you for following Mazen. Cost. So it cost me $22,000 is like the board price, at least at the time, which was 2020. That could have changed since then. I sought out private insurance and I got them to confirm that they covered the surgery, and they covered everything after my deductible, which was like $2,000 or something like that. So you're responsible for your deductible. They pay everything else. Is how it works, at least from what I remember. Oh, thank you for following Pump Chump. I do have research, or I do have insurance through my job, but the research is so difficult for me. I get that. I almost feel like it's intentionally difficult for us to do it. Gordy, oh, thank you. I'm so happy that you're here. I love when people who like watch my videos like end up joining the lives. It's so sweet. How painful was it over years, and do you enjoy like a woman does? So I don't know how women experience sex. And the surgery, so here's what I'm going to say. The surgery itself, I think, was probably the worst part about the transition in a way. It was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And it's not from what you think. So the surgery itself, getting out of the surgery, I didn't even feel sore. They had me on so much morphine. Thank you for following, Kason. It was because they also put a catheter in you, and you have a catheter inside of you for like a week or something like that. And if you've never had a catheter inside of you, imagine having like a straw inside of your pee tube or pee hole, and then having that for a week. It got to the point, it was like unbearable. It wasn't even so much painful. It was just like the strangest feeling in your life, because it almost felt like you were peeing, like you were in the act of peeing and holding that act of peeing for like a week. Like it was almost like muscle strain. It was insane. It was such a weird feeling. Also, whenever you have any sort of surgery that is like down in this like area, all of this process like stops. So digestion, excretion of any kind, like it all stops. This is all super gross, by the way, but you asked. So like gas builds up, and like if you've ever like not been able to like expel gas, like it feels like you're gonna bust. Like it feels like you're like that blueberry girl in Willy Wonka. So yeah, it was a very weird time. Thank you for following Austin. How did I know I wanted to become a female? So, I didn't know any different. I got into this a little bit earlier. There's a story going over all of it on my, channel if you want to give it a watch. But I did not know that I was anything but a girl until I was like 5 and I went to school, and then, my parents like really tried to stomp it down. So I knew very early, but I think other people knew before I did. Yeah. So Ember, there is just so much like stuff that people don't like think of. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Thank you for following, Ember. Is it centered around just the organ or more spread out, long lasting? I don't know what you mean by that, son. But I don't think I answered your question in full either. Thank you for joining, Big Cat. Another thing about like the surgery, you asked if I enjoy it like any other woman does. So one of the biggest things that I was worried about after the surgery, because this is like, some people aren't able to. I was very afraid that I was never going to be able to orgasm in my life. And I think I'm kind of an anomaly in this way, at least, because I have absolute like full sensation in that regard. Like I have no problems. I probably like am able to get to orgasm like faster than when I was a boy or had a penis, I guess. And so like, I am not saying that everyone's going to have that experience. Like your ability to heal, like ask yourself this, how often do you heal, or how good do you heal from anything? Like a bone break or a paper cut or a burn or, anything like that. How quickly do you heal from that? And do you scar a lot after? And that's going to be a pretty good indicator of the results of your surgery. If you are terrible at healing, which will be the case if you're not consuming enough protein, if you're not a healthy individual, you're going to have a harder time with that. Also, if you're older, you're going to have a harder time healing. So you have to kind of ask yourself that, and that'll help you. It'll give you an idea of what to expect. It won't be, 1-to-1. So how often did you have to dilate early on? So this is, this is where I tell you how stupid I am, Charlie. So here's the thing. You're supposed to dilate. I think what they say is like every day for the first week, and then twice a week from then to a year, and then like once every like few weeks to a month, every, month, after that. Now, I think that is not good. I also didn't follow it. Like I did not dilate nearly enough. And for any of you who don't know, after you get the surgery, again, this is going to be, a little bit TMI. But it is very similar to like a piercing. In that your body interprets the like new vagina. Also, like for anyone who's like having this like idea, you don't cut off your penis, you kind of like stuff it inside of yourself, and then it becomes a vagina. But like the way that your body, like what your body thinks is happening, because it doesn't really like have a brain, is it is interpreting it, hi Keith, that you have like an open wound. Similar to like a piercing or any other like a gunshot, you know, wound, whatever. It thinks you have a hole in your body. So what it's trying to do is close that. And the way that you stop that, because you don't want your hole to close, you want it to be open. And you have to get it to the point like you do like a piercing or like gauges or something like that, where after you pass like a certain amount of time, like it's pretty much healed, it can't change a ton. That's what dilation is. So how you do it, you like have you have like a instrument, I'll just say, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on TikTok, that you put like inside of yourself. And it just like is kind of like a exercise to just keep it open. I didn't do that as much as I should have. And then what I started to experience is like, hey, like, how come it feels like I have the smallest vagina on earth? And for like whatever reason, that connection was not being made. And like dilation is just not fun to do. Like you're just sitting there for like 30 minutes with something inside of you, and it hurts kind of just because you're like, it's almost kind of like gauges again, like in that you're, you know, like trying to keep that hole open and maybe like stretch it a little bit. So it's like uncomfortable. And I was not doing it as much as I should have. But like ever since like, you know, getting a boyfriend, I'm like trying to, you know, be able to have intercourse like when that time comes. And so the best thing to do if you get the surgery is just commit, and it's going to suck, to doing it every single day for 20 to 30 minutes. And it's going to, and I didn't believe it until I started doing it. I did like a challenge. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like I paid, you know, a ton of money for a vagina that I can't use. And so I just started doing it. 180. I like totally, it's fixed everything. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. Ember, I'm not checking messages right now just because I'm in the live. So if you sent something to me, I'm happy to talk to you. I just can't, I'm just too ADHD. I can't do two things at once. Drop it here if you want, like whatever messages. Thank you, Diecast. You're very sweet. How often were you supposed to do that daily? I answered that with that run-on sentence. Does it hurt even now or more pleasuring? So, hi, Supa. Thank you for following Simply. I'm going to get to these questions first just because they're easier. Where are you located? Missouri. Oh, no, I'm not seeing your chats, Ember. That's very weird. Does it hurt even now or more pleasuring? So, so again, I'm not sure what the like regular woman experience is like for sex or like putting anything inside of you. So, but like for me, it feels it feels good because like you're probably kissing, you're like making out, like all this other stuff. So it's like you're definitely turned on, but it's like, it definitely feels like there's like pressure. So it hurts like a little bit, but it's like, it hurts good. So it's like, it's fun. You can definitely like, you know, have the experience that you had beforehand, you know, before you got the surgery, you know, post, like I'm able to, you know, complete, I guess, from it. So it's great. It's fun. It's just very different. It's not what I expected. Charlie, that feels excessive to me, but literally more dilation the better. I'm doing a trans rights video this weekend with Sarah Gilbert and Linda Perry. That is cool. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure that they're very nice. I mean, does it feel natural or more feared? I think it feels fine. Dilation is just annoying because, and I said this a little bit earlier, it's like essentially like any maintenance task for your body that is kind of just like not that fun to do, like brushing your teeth. Like imagine you doing that for like 30 minutes or whatever. Like it's just not fun. Like you'd rather be doing anything else, like gaming or doing anything. So it's just like, it's easy to put off. I feel like it's like homework almost. I don't know who is Sarah Gilbert. I'm so I don't watch a lot of movies though, so that's probably why. Yeah, Charlie, that feels excessive to me. 3 times a day. I mean, like, the more the better, but, you know. But yeah. Oh, Darlene from Roseanne. Holy shit. I know Roseanne. I like Roseanne. That is a comfort show for me. Holy moly. Thank you for joining, Sun. You're so sweet. I hope to see you in another video. Sun is so sweet. I just love all of it. Oh my God. Tell Darlene that I said hi. I love Darlene. Darkin, there is no such thing, just for anyone who's joining, there's no such thing as dumb question, and there's no such thing as a rude question. Ask whatever the hell you want, and ask it in your way. So don't feel bad at all. Do you get to a point where you don't have to take hormones? No. So my body, at least with like how science is right now, like there's no way. So every human on earth, this is just the way that I understand it, and like it has been told to me, so I assume it's true. Everyone on earth produces like both estrogen and testosterone. Men obviously produce a ton more testosterone than they do estrogen, but they do still produce like a tiny amount of estrogen. It's just like tiny amount. And then women produce a ton of estrogen and, you know, a tiny amount of testosterone. So like if I stopped taking estrogen, I would produce a little bit of it, but I have no way of producing like testosterone like testicularly, but like you have a way of producing testosterone without having testicles. So like I would produce tiny amounts of both. And so it would greatly affect like how I like look and all of that. So I have to take estrogen for the rest of my life. So yeah. Okay, we're all caught up. Holy moly. The amount of like messages that were coming through, I was like, oh my God, I have to, cause I want to answer everything like good too. So it's like, I don't know. Thank you guys for liking the live. Oh my God. I'm having so much fun. Wow. There's so many good questions tonight. Can you make a surprise face? I don't know how to do that. So Charlie, the research phase. So I just looked up endocrinologist or whatever near me. I guess, which doctor are you talking about? Are you talking about the surgery? Oh, thank you, Michaela. I'm so glad that you've, you know, enjoyed it. Literally anything, just ask it. I'm happy to answer. I've largely, at this point in my life, I've encountered it all, so. Oh, okay. So I did not do any prolonged research into surgeons, which is probably something you should do. I literally was just mostly concerned with price point and, like, proximity. Like, if I could get it done near me, that's so much better. So those are the only two things that I considered. The price point is fairly obvious. You just call and you just ask them about it. Now, you're going to need a consultation beforehand. I don't think that they'll give you just a board price over the phone. But then, yeah, just like if you Google like gender reassignment surgery near me, it'll probably pull up some hospitals. It will not pull up like actual, like, I don't think Google actually knows that people do that. So I would just call them. You know how you can tell sometimes if someone is gay just by how they walk or talk? Is that because they, oh, yeah, that makes sense. They have more estrogen. Yeah, that makes sense. What is your thought on raising the self-harm rate from 46% or so to 100% self-harm for Transformers? I think that would be bad. But whatever. I think I'm overthinking it then. Yeah, I think like you can get very bogged down with like the research stuff. Like I would just like, if you're procrastinating it because you're like, I have to get this research perfect, like any progress is better than none. And if you're just spinning your tires on the research, just start fucking calling people. Yeah. Can I please join the live to ask questions? Maybe. Did you get the transition below the belt? Yes, I did. And Charlie, I don't know if the recommendations for like the letters of rec are still current. I bet that they are. Yeah, I think you have to get like 2 from like a psychologist and then like a therapist or something like that. And you have to be diagnosed with gender identity disorder. At least you did at the time. Erin, thank you for joining. Ember, if you could drop your questions in the chat, that would be perfect. We pretty much run the gamut of a lot of stuff, so I don't think you're gonna say anything that's like bad or anything like that. Happy to get into whatever. Hollywood card collector. Yes, I have. And I actually think it's a better one than before, which is very surprising to me. Oh, that's true, Ember. Oh my God. Yep. Okay. Guys, we're gonna switch. James, Ember, I'm gonna let you in and we'll do it for a little bit and then we will go back to normal. Ember. Hi.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Okay, I'm alright. How are you? How are you?
I am good.
So, okay, so my first question is like, did you ever feel like, well, when did you come out and like start like living as a woman?
Yeah, so I think those were 2 very different time periods. So I came out whenever I was like 14 or 15, is like whenever I was like, I'm gonna start like doing this. And that was probably like 2013 or 2014, I would say.
Mm.
And then whenever I actually started living as a woman, so like, and I guess, do you mean like a passing woman, or when did I start like doing more feminine like stuff?
Yeah, just like being out more, like just being more feminine, like, and you know what I
So
mean?
yeah, so I was kind of like, I don't like, whenever I do it, I want to look 100% perfect. And so I like waited like a year and I was like, I'm just gonna like look like, you know, boy mode or whatever, but like have the
Mhm.
hormones start doing work that's gonna make me look more beautiful. But then I like slowly started to just start doing the stuff that I wanted. So dressing a little bit like more feminine. And I kind of did, like started to slide into like drag queen like level of like stuff that I would do. So like body padding and like wearing
Mm.
heels every day, you know, to school. Like things that just like were not helping.
Mm.
So I've
They
had
weren't
like some
helping you?
trials and stuff, but probably like after a year.
You said they weren't helping you, like doing that?
No. So I don't think hyper femininity, so like wearing body padding and wearing heels to, you know, school every day, I think that hurt me so bad whenever it comes to passing.
Yeah.
Because you just, the way that I tell everyone who's like wanting to start is like, you need to look at the woman to your left and your right, and you need to make them your goal. Not like, and my goal at the
Yeah.
time was like Nicki Minaj level of like crazy
Yeah.
emotions. But that is going to, you're going to wonder why you're not passing, and it's because of that. So just try to look like the woman that you see every day, and you're going to be 100% off. And they're wearing jeans, they're wearing t-shirts, they're wearing like all of this stuff. So you have to find a way to do that that's like feminine enough for you,
Mhm.
and not doing all the crazy stuff. So
Yeah. Well, like, what about like when it doesn't come to passing? Like, how did it make you feel? Like when you dress
um,
up?
so like for me, it just made me feel, oh, thank you, Clipper. It just made me feel 100% better. Um, and it's hard to like describe what that really like means, because like it just feels like, it feels just like yourself, you know what I mean? And whenever you go so long with like kind of not realizing that you have a problem, it's like if you've like lived your whole life with like one arm and didn't really know that it was an option to have 2.
Yeah.
Your life just like infinitely improves and you just feel a ton better. And that's just like the only way that I could really like describe it. It just feels way better.
Yeah. Cause like I really been struggling with that. Like, so I'm about to be 19 in like 2 weeks, and I've known like since I was like 13 that I was trans, and I came out around like the same time.
Yeah.
Like very close, like together. And I was out in like school and like to friends and stuff, and I was like, I got, like just like being more feminine and stuff, but to my family and stuff, I was still hiding it, you know.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't like that. I didn't really have to think about it, you know. It was easy. It was fine. Like I felt good, you know, like how you were describing it.
Yeah.
But like since I graduated in May of last year, I have been having like I haven't been with like no friends or nothing. Like I had no friends in school as well. So like,
Oh
and I don't
no.
really, I don't really be like going out or nothing. And so the only times I was like able to be myself and stuff like was around like my friends or something or like school and stuff. And it's like now that I'm not having that, you know, it's like it's I'm really scared to like just be myself. Like I don't, cause like I've been boy mode for like a minute now. Like I'm just I'm like so scared to like just like I don't know. Sometimes even just to be feminine, and I'm like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, does that make me like not trans or like is that regular for like a lot of people?
No,
Cause
that's so regular. That is so regular. Do not even worry about that. Ember, I have something very uncomfortable to tell you. And one, I think you need to get out, way more often. You're so
yeah,
sweet. You can just tell from the way that you talk, like you're an absolute sweet pea. Then two, you're doing a lot of work for the people around you by not living as your true self.
yeah,
And I'm just going to be totally honest, they probably would not do the same for you. Everyone's probably going to be choosing themselves and like what's like most comfortable for them. If they were in your position, there's no way that they would have the same strength as you to not live in a way that makes you feel a million times better. So like you have to like start prioritizing yourself. And like for me, what that looked like is I ended up going into foster care because my family did not appreciate me being transgender.
oh, I'm so sorry
And
about
but at
that.
the end of the day, oh, thank you. But at the end of the day, you absolutely have to choose yourself. And it's not the same between every, type of community and stuff like that. Like I was in like a rural area and they were Southern Baptist and they just hated that.
Oh,
It may not be the same for you. It may be similar to you. But you have to choose yourself, Ember. So I would just start doing it. And they're either going to get with the program or unfortunately, you may lose them for a period of time. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know if that helps or not, but like, just,
Yeah, it's just cause like I feel like I'm such a people pleaser. Like so it's like
yeah,
I feel like even just like just being like there is like it's too much, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like at first like when I was like I like when I was like 13, 14, 15, like
yeah,
almost like 16, like I was like so like in it and I was like so proud of it and stuff. And I was like so like I wasn't like that afraid to like just like to be myself in front of other people. But as the years went by, like I started just getting like just really tired of it. Like
yeah,
because like I started like when people misgendered me, I stopped what's it called? Correcting them more. Like I just kind of was like I just didn't want like and I just didn't know like I don't know how to describe it. Like
I feel like on some level you do know, Ember. Like you know exactly what you are. Um, and I think like what's next for you is you just need to you need to find every way possible to stop being a people pleaser because I'm going to be honest with you, this world does not treat you all good. Whenever you're a people
yeah,
pleaser, like you have to go out for the things that you want.
yeah,
So if you have to, this is something that I like, if you struggle with like people pleasing, is almost act like you're like working on someone's behalf. You have a client named Ember and she's wanting something. It's your task to go out and get it. What exactly would you do? And then just follow that. But you need to find a way to break out of the people pleasing because it's gonna ruin your life, Ember, to be honest with you.
yeah. It already it already is.
But you're so young and you have so much that you can do right now. So don't feel like it's like passed you by or anything like that. But you're gonna do good. You're gonna do so good.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see like what you end up like doing and stuff. If you ever have questions, like literally DM me. Like we can get on a phone call. Like I'll do whatever. I adore
Oh,
you.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, like No, I'm only like 1 month into my hormones too, so it's like,
You got
and
so
that
much like stuff, like good stuff coming your way then. Like,
yeah, but I really feel like right now, like I think living in the in between so much is really like messing with me. But I feel like I just don't have this like the strength
yeah.
to just be out, bro. Like, I don't know, like, and
You'll
I
find
know.
it. You will. You will find it. So I just followed you back, so I want to keep up with all of your stuff.
I Yeah,
So
this is actually my other account because the other one was like completely not working. It was like Mtega or something. Like that was my other account.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so weird. I wonder why. That's
Yeah,
so
no,
bizarre.
because I was like, I don't know what it was. Like, because I was asking, like, did you ever feel like it was easier sometimes, like, to just like present as a guy, and it just wasn't going through? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's so strange. Well, DM me all of your stuff, and then I'm going to, to be taking questions. I'll probably start doing these lives more often, so feel free to join again.
All right, yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, of course.
Have a good night.
You too. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, she was so sweet. Ah, oh my god, I love Ember. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, Jay, I saw your messages coming through. Um, you're so sweet. I appreciate that. Um, and yeah, I think Ember, she's just gotta put herself first. She's gonna do so good. I like could cry right now. Oh my god. I just love. I just feel like so mother goosey over people. It's like such a curse. Now I just had to turn off my um, stuff. Hi, ugly megamind. Thank you, Junior. Thank you, Isa. I just want to say that I used to go against y'all, but oh, that's so sweet. That is so sweet of you. Um, Charlie, please ask it. I'm begging. I just like, people are just so like nice. I just can't. I just can't. Um, but yeah, people pleasing. I'm gonna be real. I have never struggled with that. I'm like, in my mind, I was just always like, no, like, well, fuck you. Like, this is my life. You're gonna tell me what I can do with my life? Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I cannot relate, Ember, but we're gonna get you out of there. We gotta get you to self-pleasing. Ooh, that sounds a little sketchy. Now that I say that out loud. Yeah. Oh my God. Ah, had to deal with hormone fluctuations. Huh. So that's tough. So like I would go, so here's something, and I would recommend that you avoid this by any means necessary. So I just have ADHD really bad. And if you have ADHD, doing things like taking medication regularly, it feels like fucking impossible to do. Um, so like I would procrastinate taking my medication, and eventually like I would go like a few months without taking my medication, similar to like my relationship with like dilation and stuff like that. And what that ended up doing was making me uglier, making me crazier, and just messing all of my life up. So yes, I do have experience with fluctuating hormones, but it was purely self done. And I would recommend you not do that at all. Hi, Big. But as far as like, um, oh, thank you, Hollywood. Big, you go ahead and ask your question. Um, but as far as like whenever I'm regularly taking my medication, do I struggle with like hormone fluctuations? I think a lot of that is like mental. Like if I take my shot and I know that it's like a shot that gives me estrogen, I may feel kind of like moodier just because I know it's like the closest thing that I can like think of to like having something like a period symptom, which is like mood swings. And maybe there is something chemically that causes it. But I do feel like I'm a little bit emotional after all of that. But I don't know. Do you have an example, Charlie, of like something that you think is like a hormone fluctuation? So before in the past, I've had like thoughts of being trans, and even did the makeup and the dressing. Okay, what what are you thinking in terms of question? Can you come to LA and I'll take you out for margaritas and chips and salsa? Done. Fucking done. Okay, done. I've never been to LA. I've never wanted to go to LA. But any chips and salsa or margarita conversation, I'm open to entertaining. But it's like I think it would be too difficult to transition, and a lot of the time when I would think of it, transitioning, that I would like to be too difficult. So, Big D, I am going to say a series of very uncomfortable things to you, and a lot of it is going to, when I say it, feel like you probably already knew, right? Um, it's going to be hard. A lot of things in life are hard. Um, but here's kind of the fact of the matter. If you are a trans woman, which I see as like a medical condition, and you are choosing to ignore that medical condition because you think it's going to be like hard to get to the other side, which is like I consider passing. Um, if you put it off, you're only making it so much worse. And there's really only one thing that that's going to get you, and that is dying having never lived. I'm going to be totally frank with you. And that's not worth it. You only get one life. And the more you wait, even if you're scared, even if, all of these other like negative things that some are going to be true, quite frankly, your life is going to be a little bit hard. You need to do it anyway. You're hurting yourself. You're probably hurting those around you because when people don't transition, they're not the best version of themselves. They're probably worse to those around them. And you have to do it. Um, and so what that means for you is even though it's scary, it's going to be hard, all of these other things, you just have to put one foot in front of the other. Um, and you know, there's a lot of different ways that you could do it. If you have questions about starting, I'm happy to answer those as well. Oh wow, that's so cool. That would be very fun, Hollywood. Send me a DM. Um, Thank you for following, Billy. Oh my gosh. Hi, Kale. Um, yeah, I can never tell anyone because I get a lot of questions from people who are like thinking about transitioning, and they are usually they're given a lot of pause because I tell them like it's gonna suck. But like here's the thing. If you know that it's gonna be terrible, and at least in the short term, now I will tell you, like having gone through like horrible stuff, like losing all my family, like having, being in very immense danger, all of this other like crazy stuff that you're talking about, having been through all of it and coming out the other side, it is 100% worth it. Um, but if that idea of it all being worth it at the end is too scary for you to take action, it's one of those things where you either like aren't or you need to have the courage of your convictions a little bit. Um, so yeah, Big D, if you ever have questions, I'm happy to answer them. I think a lot of what makes it scary too is just like not knowing a ton. Um, so I can help with any of that. I'm always happy to answer any question. Seriously. Hi, Rich. All of this stuff, surgery, hormones, like all of it. Um, I think what makes it seem so impossible to start is just like it's just difficult to like figure all this shit out. It's a lot of research that you have to do. It's not fun stuff. It's work, and work is not fun at all. You'll for sure see the videos we're shooting. Oh, that's so exciting. Holy moly. Billy, thank you for following Just. I really want to for a long time. Holy moly, Hollywood. That sounds legit. I'm super excited to see it. Um, you've really wanted to for a long time, Billy? Yeah. You, it's never too late. Never too late. Um, if you could, I imagine, I'm very, blessed to be, younger, 27. But I imagine even if I was like an older person who, maybe I never had the opportunity to or the guts to, up till I was like in my 60s or something like that. Um, a life, lived authentically for even 10 years is better than a long time having never really lived at all. So I think that it's never too late. Oh, thank you, Hollywood. That is so sweet. Oh my God. You guys are all making my night. Holy moly. Hi, Danya. Yeah. Uh, there's just, there's a ton. I don't even know how long I've been live now. I'm just having a blast. I'm like, this is so fun. Um, and a lot of these like things that I talk about, I've probably covered in like a video. So just go to my, page and you'll see a lot of it. Holy moly. Yeah, I was raised by my grandparents largely, so I have a lot of those like random ass like older phrases, Hollywood. Um, yeah. Oh, thank you for following, Jay. That's so sweet of you. Um, no. Also, I'll have you know, so like the grandparents that I'm talking about, the ones who, raised me, I was in like that rural town or whatever. Who ended up, saying like you can either transition or you can, get the fuck out, essentially. Um, they have since totally come around. So that's why I always say like you may lose your family for now. Now I'm not gonna promise you they'll ever, come around. You can never promise that sort of thing. But I think given a certain amount of like time and looking good and like, seeming like a normal person, I think largely anyone can probably come around. Um, how do you deal with the attention? I feel that overwhelms me because socials end up being full of weirdos. What attention do you mean? Oh, thank you, Hollywood. I was so glad to have you. So, come back again. Hi, Alex. How do you deal with the attention? What attention do you mean? Do you mean like in person or do you mean like on dating apps or like what do you mean? Or like in public? Like are you talking like not passing or something? Um I have an opinion on all. Oop, I just dropped that. I need to get some more stuff. Um Good night, Hollywood. Um no, the attention, so I struggled, will do. I struggled a ton with the attention from like not passing, because it's just like I'm not really a person who really like likes attention that much, which is ironic, obviously, given the fact that I'm live right now. But I just hated the fact that like people were even looking at me. But the thing about it is I was looking crazy. And the best way that I found to have all of that attention go away is to just really take a critical look at myself and be like, hey, why are these people looking at me this way? And I would then change what I did. You have to be very scientific about all of this, if you want to be very effective with all of it. Hi, Casey. So if someone was like, yeah, I kind of like thought you were a dude because you are like 6'4", and I'd be like, okay, I would look down at my shoes and be like, okay, I'm wearing heels to high school, and no one else is. Boom, so the heels are gone. Um, Charlie, it did not end up sending, unfortunately. Um, so that's just like one example. And then if someone was like, yeah, you know, your arms are kind of like masculine and your shoulders are broad, I'm like, okay, boom, I'm gonna start wearing like long sleeves and prioritizing my like lower body looking bigger. So wearing something that's maybe like a higher waist short or something like that, or like jeans. Um, you just have to take people having negative things to say about your appearance, like you're fat, you're ugly, like all this other stuff. You need to ask them second level questions. What's ugly about me? And then change those things. It's very easy. At the end of the day, it's very hard if you, it's hard to not be emotional about these things and just, you know, like with research, kind of like spin your tires. But yeah, you just have to be kind of a scientist about it. Hi, Dolce de Leche. There's a there's a lot of stuff. What I would like to start doing eventually, tell me if this is like, if this would be valuable or not, I guess. But I think it'd be fun to start doing like almost consultations for people. And hi Spacey. I think it'd be fun to like do like consultations almost for people, like on like a client basis. I think that'd be fun. I like helping people. It's very fun to me. I dropped my like thingy. Well, the viewership has declined a little bit, and my phone's about to die anyway, so I may call it a night. Charlie, feel free to DM me that question. I'm happy to answer it offline. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I hope to see you in the next live. Um, and yeah, you guys have all been so great. So I'm sorry to the people who just joined as soon as we're stopping. Um, yeah, so join me in the next one. Okay, follow if you haven't, and then yeah, I will talk to you later.